Hello and welcome back to This Week at the Creek. I'm Brendan McDonald and here's your weekly news. January 31st is the deadline for senior cap and gown this year. Be sure to order your cap and gown before then at balfour.com. Seniors, be sure to order your honor cords, which are currently on sale right now. Payments are due by February 15th, and be sure to check with your sponsors for information on how to buy them. The National Honor Society is organizing a study program to benefit the students of Timber Creek. If you need academic help or want to help others, be sure to check out the QR codes posted around the school. The Special Olympics track meet will take place on Tuesday, March 22nd after 2 years of absence. If you want to volunteer, pick up a form at room M237. A mandatory meeting is required before applying, so make sure to attend. Go Red on next Friday, February 4th to support the American Heart Association in the fight against heart disease. Coming up after the break, we have National News with Sage Seiler.
Welcome back. It's not on me. Welcome back. I'm Sage Seiler with this week's national news. A U.S. official has confirmed to the National Public Radio that as of Sunday, January 23rd, troops are ready to be deployed in areas near Russia and Ukraine. On January 24th, Pentagon spokesman John Kirby confirmed in a news briefing that Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has placed 8,500 troops on heightened alert. However, a final decision on deployment has not yet been made. Tensions began to heighten between Russia and Ukraine early last week, making the United States originally consider sending roughly 5,000 troops to the area. In response to international concerns, the Russian government has presented 2 draft agreements, which include clauses such as making NATO stop pushing further into Eastern Europe and for the United States to withdraw its missiles from areas across Europe. On top of all of this, Western officials believe Russia may cut off energy supplies to other European countries as tensions begin to escalate. The United States has been in discussion with its European allies on continuing the supply of energy resources if Russia were to withhold its gas exports. At this time, the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, has confirmed that the United States has not yet imposed sanctions on Russia and may not do so until tensions escalate further, claiming in a CNN interview on Monday that if they're triggered now, you lose the deterrent effect. Back on this side of the ocean, protesters took to the streets of Washington, D.C. in the Defeat the Mandates March, protesting vaccine mandates across the United States. Roughly 35,000 people gathered around the Washington Monument and then headed towards other memorial sites, peacefully protesting the requirement of proof of vaccination in order to enter certain establishments. The protest remained mostly peaceful aside from a brief run-in with counter-protesters, which ended fairly tame. We'll have to wait and see if this protest will affect any change in the current mandate of proof of vaccination across the country. In other news, the College Board announced that the SAT will be moving to online only starting in 2024 for American students and 2023 for international students. USA Today reported 2 reasons for why the change is coming: that roughly 80% of the 2,300 four-year colleges did not require any SAT scores for the class of 2022. Furthermore, the 2.2 million students who took the SAT in 2020 dropped to 1.5 million in 2021. The digital test is reported to still be on a 1600 scale, but only come in at 2 hours instead of the familiar 3 hours. College Board Vice President Priscilla Rodriguez confirmed 2 big changes coming for the online test. For one, that the online test will be changed based off of students' answers and response time, and a calculator will be allowed for the entire math section. Schools will no longer have to worry about shipping or receiving tests, and the College Board has stated that under the new digital exam, scores may come out in days rather than weeks. To learn more, please visit the Timber Creek Talon, where you can find more information on not just the SATs, but news from all topics in one place. Thank you. I've been Seiler with this week's national news. Back to Brent at the desk.
With entertainment news after the break.
Hi, I'm Ethan Hyatt with this week's entertainment news. On Thursday, Ye West announced his newest album, Donda 2. This album appears to be the sequel to the album of West's last release, Donda, which was released in August of last year. West took to Instagram to announce the release of the date, February 22nd of 2022, a once-in-a-century date. 2 months after the supposed release, West will be headlining this summer's Coachella. West began production of Donda 2 in September of last year, immediately after his release of his wildly successful previous LP. Donda 2 looks to be West's 11th studio album. Last Wednesday saw the removal of artist Neil Young from Spotify as his recent public letter was released, calling for Spotify to choose between Neil Young or podcast host Joe Rogan. In the letter, Young expressed that he didn't want his music on Spotify anymore due to the platform's association with Joe Rogan, citing that Rogan is spreading misinformation about COVID-19 vaccinations on his podcast. A Spotify spokesperson expressed in a statement, "We want all the world's music and audio content to be available on Spotify users. With that comes great responsibility in balancing both safety for listeners and freedom for creators. We regret Neil's decision to remove his music from Spotify, but hope to welcome him back." It seems as if Young's wish has been granted, as the Heart of Gold singer won't appear on Spotify anymore. This situation comes after Joe Rogan's deal with Spotify back in 2022 to move his content onto the platform. If you've checked Twitter recently, you may have seen trending tags related to the popular word game, Wordle. The word puzzle seems to have taken the internet by storm and rose in popularity over the last week. Wordle is a game where players must guess the 5-letter word of the day in 6 tries or less, and colored letters provide information based upon the most recent answer. After you may or may not guess the word, the website has incorporated a way for you to copy and share your results with friends and family, leading to massive rise in popularity. The game can only be played once a day, and the daily word resets at midnight. Wordle was released back in October of 2022 by Josh Wardle, who decided to release the game to the public after he saw how popular it was with his friends and family. The release of the long-awaited animation series, The Legend of Vox Machina, released today, January 28th, on Amazon Prime Video. The series is based off the campaign of the incredibly popular Dungeons & Dragons web series, Critical Role, where the voice actors gather to play D&D together. Critical Role is hosted on YouTube and Twitch every Thursday night. The Legend of Vox Machina is a 12-episode retelling of the party's adventures, with all characters voiced by the actors who played them in the original D&D game. The series includes famous voice actors such as Laura Bailey, Matthew Mercer, and Liam O'Brien, to name a few. The series will release 3 episodes every Friday, with a total of 12 episodes being released. Last week, Microsoft proposed a massive deal to buy game company Activision Blizzard for nearly $70 billion. This means Microsoft would own massively successful games such as Call of Duty, Overwatch, World of Warcraft, and even Candy Crush. This deal comes after several allegations of sexism and harassment drove Activision Blizzard into several lawsuits. This purchase by Microsoft could incorporate hundreds of millions of active players due to the high franchises Activision Blizzard has under its belt. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was one of the best-selling games last year, and World of Warcraft franchise has gained a large following since its original release almost 18 years ago. That's all for this week's entertainment news. Back to Brent at the desk.
Thanks, Ethan. After the break, we'll go to Braden Fickle with sports news.
Good day. Woo! $1 Million Picture is a brand new game show. Scan this QR code in the hallways to apply to be on the game show.
Interested in cheer? Well, on January 26th, there will be a tryout meeting in the lecture hall at 6:30 p.m. On February 16th is when all and any paperwork is due, as well as t-shirt orders. Each of those should be in by 4 p.m. And on March 7th to March 10th is the official tryout week. If you have any questions, contact Coach Fickle at alicia.fickle@kellerisd.net.
Thanks, Bren. On Sunday, the Kansas City Chiefs will meet the Cincinnati Bengals in Kansas City to decide who will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. The Bengals have already beaten the Chiefs this season, winning 34-31 in Week 17. The Chiefs are hosting their 4th straight AFC championship and look to be in their 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. Also, on Sunday, the Los Angeles Rams will take on the San Francisco 49ers in LA to decide the NFC representative. The 49ers have already beaten the Rams twice this season and look to get back to the Super Bowl after falling short in 2019. The Rams look to become the 2nd team to host the Super Bowl after the Bucs did it last season. The Dallas Mavericks beat the Portland Trail Blazers on Wednesday, 132-112. Luka Doncic had a 15-point triple-double as the Mavs have won 6 of their last 8 games. The Mavs will welcome back former head coach Rick Carlisle and the Indiana Pacers this Saturday at the AA. The Dallas Cowboys front office informed coach Mike McCarthy that he will return for a 3rd season. McCarthy is 18-15 in 2 seasons with the Cowboys and led them back to the playoffs this year. Despite losing in the wild card, Jerry Jones expects Mike McCarthy and defensive coordinator Dan Quinn, who was considered a frontrunner for the Broncos and Bears head coaching jobs, to return, as well as offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. That was all for sports news. Now back to Brent at the desk.
Next Monday, January 31st, is the last day to order your 2022 yearbook. Here is a preview of what to look forward to. That's all for this week at the Creek. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next time.